You are so disrespectful.
He is going to fall off a cliff.
Shut the hell up.
That's not even close to my best.
They're wrong. And I don't give a damn that they agree with me or not.
It's that time of the day. Stephen A., take us home with your final take. The floor is yours.
Yeah. 2 down, 2 to go. To many, that probably sounds cruel, doesn't it? This quasi-celebration of sorts, following the unceremonious dismissals of Jeff Fisher in L.A. and now Gus Bradley in Jacksonville. One would ask, how dare you, Stephen A., or anyone else for that matter, actually come across as if someone's firing is a cause for celebration, especially when there are no plans on stopping there, knowing there will be more calls for a Rex Ryan and a Marvin Lewis to be next on the hit list. Well, here's a thought. Instead of lamenting the firing of guys, how about applauding the opportunities the firings will actually create? Did anyone know that Mike McCarthy would win a Super Bowl a couple of coaches after Mike Holmgren finally departed from Green Bay years ago? How about Mike Tomlin and his 2 Super Bowl appearances, along with the Super Bowl title, following the departure of Bill Cowher? So many times we all sit here thinking of folks who've lost their jobs, yet rarely do we think enough about the opportunities they've had, what little they've done with it, and what opportunities end up being denied to those on the come up. When are we going to stop this? Fisher, to remind everybody, had nearly 22 seasons in the NFL as a head coach, missed the playoffs 16 times, got one extension after another, ended up walking away reportedly with anywhere from $10 to $14 million, then practically bragged about it on his way out the door. And do we really want to get into Gus Bradley? The man who never won more than 5 games in any season he's coached, who went 14-48 in nearly 4 full years as the head coach, despite the bevy of young talent the Jaguars have at their disposal? The point is, why worry about these guys and their feelings? What happened to creating opportunities for others? Every coach has coaches, every team has coaches and coordinators. We can't begin to count the list of individuals starving for a shot, their golden moment of opportunity, their chance to be the next Mike McCarthy or Mike Tomlin. Everybody can't be the prodigal son that Jerry Jones anointed Jason Garrett to be. So the only way to move forward, to create opportunities for others, is by stripping those once given the chance, once they failed. It's the way the world works. Let's get over it, please. Even if it is during Christmas time. Last checked, both Bradley and Fisher can afford Christmas gifts. No doubt. Rex Ryan and Marvin Lewis will be able to as well, once they're given the pink slips, as they so richly deserve.
Stephen A., well said. And if you want more of Stephen A.'s final takes, you can always catch them. They live on our First Take Twitter and Facebook pages. You can catch them there for sure.
Goff takes a snap, drops straight back, pressure, pocket collapses, ball's loose, and the loose ball is recovered by the Saints.
Our front office is like a high school, you know.
Someone from upper management called me and said that I make the players feel uncomfortable about some of the stuff I've said on the radio and about they don't want me on the sidelines.
You can't be critical and then come back and, and ask for this and ask for that.
I told them on the phone I would never attend another game of Ram function as long as you head coach, and I stand by that.
Goff 3 steps, looks to the ring, it's intercepted. Deion Jones keeps his feet, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown for Debo.
Some breaking news out of Los Angeles. The Rams have officially parted ways with head coach Jeff Fisher.
This is solely a performance-related issue.
Well, this is an understatement. It's been a rough year for the Rams in their return to Los Angeles. They've lost 9 of their last 10 games and fired head coach Jeff Fisher. Here to talk all about it is a future Hall of Famer here, and Eric Dickerson. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you very much. Not future, Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer. Excuse me.
That's okay.
You're there. President there.
You know what threw me off there? I had future of football that I wanted to ask you about in LA. So I want to focus on that. So after losing to the Seahawks, Tavon Austin talked about how difficult it is to play in LA. We know how difficult it is to play in the NFL, period, but the city of Los Angeles, the hype, the hoopla, the expectations.
Well, when the Rams came to LA, I kept telling everyone that this team has to win here. This is a city that's all about winners. It's glitz, it's glamour, it's Hollywood. You can't come here going 4-12, 6-10. That's not going to work in LA. I mean, that may work someplace else. And I kept saying it over and over, they've got to win. Or if they don't win, they have to have an exciting product. And they've really done neither one.
Well, first of all, I'd like to take a moment to applaud you because I think you deserve to be applauded. The reason why is because that phone call that you got from Jeff Fisher one day clearly upset him, and all you were doing was telling the truth and bringing attention that desperately needed to have attention brought to it, which was the Los Angeles Rams stink because their record stinks because their head coach just wasn't very damn good anymore and he had too much of an opportunity. I want you to take us back to that phone call that you received from Jeff Fisher and what that was like for you.
Well, first of all, I was invited out to the groundbreaking ceremony. That's when I come out. I said, sure, I'll come out. And I'd heard the grumbling already. So when I got there, I could tell it was kind of a little tension between some of the Rams staff and myself, but no big deal. So after I got ready to leave, I asked the guy, I said, hey, what about those passes I asked you for my friend? But now keep in mind, I didn't really need them. I just wanted to see, was it true?
Right.
You know? So they said, well, Eric, I'm not sure. You know, we have the media department, you know, they said some of the stuff you said about the team. I said, huh? I said, well, am I lying? Well, no, you're not lying, but you know, I said, well, he said, I'll tell you what, someone's gonna call you. Jeff Fisher or Les Snead will call you. I said, okay, I said, I welcome the call, no problem. So I left, I got home, I'm talking to my best friend, Charles Drayton, on the phone. And he said, Dick, you lying, they gonna call you? I said, you're supposed to call me. And I'm talking to him for about 20 minutes, all of a sudden I see a 314 area code. I said, Drayton, let me call you back. He said, man, I wish I was on this call. Yeah. So I answered, so I said, hello. Hey, Eric, this is Jeff Fisher. I said, how you doing, Jeff? He said, I'm good. He said, look, I'm gonna get right at this. He says, you know, I don't really have time for this, but I'm just gonna say this, you know, you're not gonna be talking about my football team, my coaches, and then expecting things from the team. As long as I'm head coach, we're not doing anything for you, we're not supporting anything you do, and I'm just letting you know that right now. As long as I'm head coach, that's not gonna happen. You make my team uncomfortable, you make the players uncomfortable, and you make the coaches uncomfortable when you come on the sideline. So that's just not gonna happen. So I just wanna let you know, and blah, blah, blah. He goes on. I didn't say one word, I just listened. So when he finished, I said, okay. And I think he thought he was gonna hang up.
Yeah.
I said, okay, Jeff. He said, okay, thanks. I said, no. I said, it's my turn. He said, okay. I said, Jeff, let me explain something to you. First of all, I'm a grown-ass man. I said, I don't need nothing from the Rams. I said, you think I've been sitting around there waiting for the Rams to come back? I said, no, I have not been. I said, if I want something, I'll pay for it. I said, if y'all think I owe you something, send me a bill. I'll gladly pay for it. I said, Jeff, I said that my thing is that I want my football team to win. I said, you could get fired, Les Snead could leave, Kevin Demoff could leave, but I'll still be Eric Dixon of the Los Angeles Rams. I say, I want my football team to win. I support the players. I'm a player first, always. Then all of a sudden it changes. Well, Eric, we want you to come over, man. That's not what we want, blah, blah, blah. You know, we had Britney Spears come over last week, and I'm like, no, I don't care nothing about no Britney. I mean, not no offense against Britney Spears, but I'm talking about
She's
football.
not in the Hall of Fame playing for the Rams.
Isn't it true, before I let you go back, isn't it true that Jeff Fisher initially denied that he had spoken to you?
You know what? I don't know, because I didn't. One thing is, this had happened about 2 weeks prior. I didn't say anything at first. I didn't say anything about it. So, you know, on my show on 570, they kept teasing me about, man, you on the Rams hit list. You know, you're the new #1 enemy of the Rams. And I just laughed. And so they said it again the following week. And I said, man, I'm going to say this. I said, I got a call from someone in upper management. And they were like, huh? I said, yeah. And I said, well, I kind of said what they told me. They were shocked. And so I never said it was Jeff Fisher. And I'll say this much here. If Jeff Fisher said he never made the call, I'd have said he never made the call. I mean, that's just how I felt. I wanted to keep this really in-house, but I just got sick of hearing how I'm bad-mouthing my football team. I'm just telling the truth, what everyone else saw. I said it from week 2. I said the offense looks like a high school offense. I said the defense is doing all the work. And if I'm a defensive squad, like, look, man, golly, help us out a little bit. Do something different. And that was it.
To paraphrase Wally Shawn from The Princess Bride,
I like
two
that.
major mistakes made throughout history. One, never get involved in a land war in Asia. And second, and only slightly behind that, is if the Los Angeles Rams are returning to LA for the first time in almost a half century, and your teams have stunk on ice for years, and you're the head coach of the Rams, maybe don't pick a fight with the greatest player in the history of the franchise. That's insanity. Particularly when, and Eric, you could talk to this, I just spent 5.5 years in LA. Let me tell you the difference between the New York market and the LA market when it comes to sports. And this goes to the difference between LA and even Philly or Boston or a place like that, the cold weather, kind of bitter, northeast cities that really are crazy about sports. If you stink in New York, they'll still pay attention to you. They'll just be cursing you out all day. There is pressure in New York City to win now. In LA, I wouldn't say it's pressure. I would say you have to deal with distractions. And if you don't handle those distractions, they're not going to kill you. They will forget about you.
Right.
They forgot about you. They'll go outside. The weather's nice. Anyway, I guess it's not a question. It's more of a statement. But I think I'm more outraged about what happened to you than you are.
Look, my thing is, and I said this to Jeff Fisher, I just want my team to win. I mean, I think the Los Angeles Rams fans deserve better. I mean, they came from St. Louis. The St. Louis fans deserve better. And to come to L.A. and put this kind of product on the field, it's not fair to the fans. I mean, I saw Coach Pete Carroll. It was, 4 weeks ago. He was leaving the field with his players. They made a big stand on the goal line. And he was like a kid, like excited. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. I said, that's the kind of coach we need. We need something like that. I said, that's what we're missing. As a player, that's what you want.
With that being said, who would you like to see as the next head coach for the Los Angeles Rams?
Man, it's a wide variety of guys. I mean, Jim Harbaugh would be a choice, but like I said, I'm not writing that check. That's Stan Kroenke. John Gruden would be a choice for sure. I think he could come in. I like guys who have been head coaches before, but say there's not one that's not been a head coach. I mean, I think Kyle Shanahan would be a possibility. I mean, he's an offensive coordinator. It's a lot of guys out there, but you got to have a coach that fits that team, the personality, the organization. I mean, and I guess I'd say it starts at the top. I mean, the top has to be cleaned up before you can get a coach. I mean, that has to be.
Now, Les Snead, too? I mean, he's the one who, look at these draft picks that aren't hit.
Look at our draft picks. I mean, it's almost like this. It's almost like, okay, the bullseye's over here, and we're drafting over here. Like, I'm like, who's picking these guys? I mean.
And how much of that is development? Like, Mark Schlereth talks about that. People confuse drafting with development, not always the same thing. How much of that is missing in the draft? That's Snead. How much of that is lack of development, which would be under Fisher?
Well, it's a lot of it. I think, he's a defensive-minded coach. And our defense is good. I mean, but the defense is not going to last forever. They can't keep going at this rate. You have to have some offense, and that's what we're missing. We're missing on so many offensive players. They'll draft a guy in the 4th round and get it right. We'll draft a guy in the 1st round, 2 of them, and get it way wrong. Like, how are these guys playing? And I think that's where the disconnect is.
The bright side is you can only go up from here. But speaking of offense, you are the only first year to account for 1,800 rushing yards in your first NFL season. Ezekiel Elliott, he's on pace potentially to do something like that. We asked Twitter, should he win MVP? 51% said no. Your thoughts?
As I look at the MVP race, and I think I know you're not a Cowboy fan, neither am I.
That's right.
I'm a Steelers fan, like you.
There we go.
Growing up
Smart man.
Yeah.
Smart man.
But I'll say this much here. When I look at that football team, I've been saying it for a while, co-MVP, Zeke and Dak, they go great together. I mean, I think one couldn't exist without the other. I mean, and I believe that. So for me, I'd have to go co. I can't give it to Zeke and I can't give it to Dak solely.
I ain't mad at you. I'm just hoping that Jerry Jones messes it all up. I put Romo up in there. That'll make my day. I see it coming.
Eric, thank you so much for traveling all the way to be here with us, to have a Hall of Famer here in the house. We appreciate you and your honesty.
Man. And don't think you're going to get anything from First Take.
Not even
Can I get something? Can I get a mug?